I hope all of you who are watching are having a great day. Today for Tuesday Chats, I've got Leah Kapral joining me. Now, Leah is she is a relatively newly qualified, not brand new, but considering time from school, etc. I'll let Leah share more about this, but it's definitely a change in path for Leah to be working in this space in a professional capacity. I am just getting myself organised, as I usually do, getting set up with Facebook so that I can monitor the chat as we're going. Very bright. For anyone who has got questions for Leah, plop them into the chat. If I can work them into the conversation, I will. And if I can't, then Leah and I will come back and address the questions a little bit later on. But for now, what I would love, Leah, is for you to please take the lead. I would love for you to share about who you are and what it is that you do within your business, please.
Yeah. Well, thanks for inviting me, Terri.
You're very welcome.
You're looking very colourful today. Blended in with the bookshelf there.
In my bookshelf, yep.
Yeah.
It's my favourite part of the office, this. And actually, a lot of those I have already read. So it's not just shelf development in my case. There's a lot of
You've actually read them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just wanted to acknowledge you for sharing small businesses and having this platform and inviting me on today. You're such a big heart, and yeah, you really have a passion for small businesses. So thank you.
You're very welcome. And you're right. Small business is my jam. People who operate in the bigger spaces, I absolutely appreciate what they do. And I don't actually understand them. So I just let them do their thing and I'll stick with the small business people.
Yeah. Yes. So, yeah, my name's Leah Kapral. Yeah. And as Terri shared, I did do a career move to become a nutritionist recently, a couple of years ago now. And the reasons for that was I was pretending to be happy in my previous career as an environmental scientist. I've always loved biology. And then all of a sudden, I started entering menopause. So in your 40s, things start to change, as you know. And all of a sudden, I had high cholesterol reading, and I'd never had that before. And my maternal family, they die of heart disease. So I could see it's predictable that it was going to go that way unless I did something about it. And I'd put on some weight, cholesterol's up, and I went to the doctor and said, what do I need to do? I've tried the personal training program at the gym. It's not budging. They're asking me to eat more, and it's just not working. And he told me to eat fruit for breakfast.
Right.
And that was it. That was what my doctor said.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you look at a medical degree, there's about this much nutrition, if that, included in it. It's a difficult space, I think, in terms of medical doctors, like a GP, I guess, recommending, giving guidance around food and nutrition and all those other things. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's when I knew that there was something I needed to really take on and figure out myself. So my maternal side also have type 2 diabetes. So we're at risk of developing cardiovascular disease, and also there is a tendency for high blood pressure, which is another risk factor. And I kind of had, my intuition was saying, because the PT was saying eat more food, and my body just didn't want to do that. Like, I knew something was there, and I did a blood glucose test, which if you've been pregnant, it's something that you take on. You do like a 3-hour test. Do you remember doing that when you were pregnant?
The fasting blood, what did they call that? Fasting Anyway, yes, it's horrible. You've got
Yeah.
to not eat, and then you've got to drink this super, super sweet yuck.
Yeah.
And then they take a bunch of different readings to see how your body responds to that sugar load, and to see whether or not your pancreas is effectively working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the test I did. Because I knew I was sensitive to carbs. I knew something was happening because I was drinking a lot of water, and I thought I was pretty healthy, but I didn't know what I didn't know back then. Yeah, I did that test, and I found out that I was starting to develop insulin resistance. So my cells were not unlocking. The insulin unlocks the cells to move the sugar from the food you eat into the cells. And now my cells are becoming resistant to that insulin. So I'm not getting that energy, and my blood sugar is all over the place. And I was putting on fat, which is another reason. So yeah, I knew that there was a lot to learn. And so I went away and I trained myself as a nutritionist, and now I'm a blood sugar coach. And yeah, I work with women to support them, on their quest to quit sugar and reduce their cholesterol.
Awesome. That's amazing. Why did I have it in my head that you're an engineer, not that you're an environmental scientist? But anyway, that makes more sense to me now in the whole journey because of that science background. So, yeah, don't mind me and my brain.
I know a lot of people think I'm an engineer and was an engineer, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
You usually, as an environmental scientist, you're putting in the engineering group.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it came from. Or maybe maybe it's when you've spoken to me about working with engineers or something. Anyway, so in terms of the people that you work with, so they are I'm going to say mostly perimenopausal women, like in that joyous phase of not actually knowing anything about what's going on and working out what your system's doing. Otherwise known as like chaos.
Yeah, things really do change. Yeah, so I'd say late 30s and 40s and 50s is who I've been working with.
Like, I know that there is so much around menopause, perimenopause. Well, there's a volume of information, whether or not it's actually accurate and all the rest of it. But I'm certainly, because I am of that age, getting targeted with that sort of information. But is there a similar kind of thing that men go through at this type of age?
I'm not sure. Men I'm not working with myself.
Yep.
But yeah, I have heard that there may be menopause. I've heard wives saying that maybe they are going through menopause themselves.
Yes.
Yes. So no, I don't work with men.
Yeah, that's all right. And look, I love the fact that you are so niche that you know exactly this is who I work with, because that is so key in terms of, as in any business owner, in the work that you do. If you have, we all can help so many people, but if we speak to everybody, nobody hears us when in our marketing, and promoting what we do. So I love the fact that you are. No, I don't know, because I don't work with men.
Yeah.
Very, very powerful. What is it? So tell me, for people who would come to work with you, what are the sorts of things that they're often presenting with? What can they expect in that kind of journey of working through with you in that space?
Yes. So women come to me and their cholesterol's high. They will share that they get blood sugar crashes. So by that, I mean, like, after you eat breakfast or after you've had lunch, you experience like a real fatigue. Within half an hour, you're getting tired, your performance is dropping, and you're hungry. You're looking for food, even though you've just eaten. So usually they know that they have some sort of say addiction, but the tendency to go for sugar or something that they know is not the healthiest choice. So they know these types of behaviors are happening all the time. They've tried all the fad diets and nothing's really worked. They've tried to be really strict on themselves. It hasn't worked. And they don't understand the science. So generally, that's what I hear, is a real impact on their energy. And the types of conditions would be thyroid problems, people with hyperglycemia, like low blood sugar tendencies, PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome, those Hashimoto's, those kind of conditions. And they just feel like they haven't been given that individualized care with their health, and they're still looking. And usually there's a big stress around their health, so they're just not settled because they haven't found any solutions yet of what will work for them.
Yeah. Do you find that these people where do you sit in terms of that journey for those people who have if they've gone to insulin resistance or taken that next step as to pre-diabetic or possibly even type 2 diabetes? How does that fit within your scope of the people that you work with?
Yeah, so I don't work with people with type 2 diabetes conditions. I work with people who have insulin resistance or the blood sugar problems. That's where I sit. And they created the program the training I did to capture that gap, to take some of the load off the dietitians and things like that who are struggling to keep up with the rate of diabetes in the Western world.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome. So tell me, what is it that you love most about what you get to do?
What do I love the most working with? I just love that the women that come to me, they're really clear that they want longevity of life. They really want to experience the wholeness of what life has to offer, which is like, I think kids, and also in terms of what they can contribute, they see their performance impacted. So in terms of their sense of self and their purpose, it's impacted from their nutrition.
Yeah.
They're having these, roller coaster rides every day. And, I've experienced too, I don't know, like if you've had a sugar low and a sugar high, you're not really nice to be around.
This is very true. Yeah.
So there's an impact on others when you're on this ride. You've got hormones changing. That's something else that's going on. And, they really want to be in loving relationships and bring all themselves through. And I just love that they're really clear that that's happening and they're responsible, that they need to change something.
Yeah.
So, I love that they're just really clear. They're ready to go and enthusiastic, and seeing them shine and seeing them transform is really, and sharing what's happened in their world since the program is really touching.
Yeah. Love that. I love that. So flip side of that, what's your least favorite? What do you dislike about what you get to do with your business now?
What do I least like? So I'm a creator, and I'm if you've done the Wealth Dynamics character profile, creator, and I'm a star. So all the learning, there's so much learning in this digital world. So, that can be a little bit exhausting because there's so many firsts, which can really take zap that creative energy away. So I'm learning to schedule my week around entertaining the creator and the star, but then there's times for the mechanic and just to get the knots and bolts to make the business work as well. So not just choosing the fun bits, but there's all the bits, right?
Yeah.
But still being in balance and alignment with what myself wants. Yeah.
Love that. Love it. And so what's the dream? What is it that you're working towards?
So I'm working towards working with women's doctors, female doctors. What am I saying? Women, yeah, like a women's health clinic. So setting up a practice that we have a doctor that is there seeing women around their menopause. So with entering that stage of life, the risk of heart disease or cardiovascular disease increases 3 to 4 times.
Yeah, wow.
And every day, 10 women are actually dying from heart attacks and 20 women a day from cardiovascular disease. So setting up in a clinic so I can support them with their metabolic health and their risk indicators, and also having the partnership with a doctor who's stepping them through their menopausal journey, and I'm there with them. So that's the dream.
Love that. Yeah. I can see you doing that too, being the whole pulling that network of people together, that community of caregivers, practitioners, whatever term you want to use, to serve that wider community of women. Because you bring in, oh man, the power in that space will be phenomenal. Because it's in that in my experience in watching others before me, and now for myself, when in going through that change in this phase of my life, it's, in my case, it's absolutely a space for me to be stepping into my power and going forwards, at a whole different level to where I had been before. So, and I've watched other people who are, similar phase go through a similar kind of transition. So, I would just want to hang out in your waiting area.
Yeah, I can see it now. It's going to be this beautiful space, welcoming, soothing. There's going to be herbal teas.
Yeah.
So
Fresh
really,
flowers like you've got in the background now.
They're actually fake.
Oh, really? They look fresh. Wait, you didn't even tell me that.
They cost $400. That's why they look.
Lord, they should look fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. All right. Look, I know that you're on a very tight time frame today, so we'll wrap it up now. But just before you go, I would love for you to give your one key takeaway that you want people to take out of this and to think of when they, for themselves.
Yeah. So the takeaway would be, if you're entering your 40s, start having the conversation with your doctor around cardiovascular disease, and look out for the indicators mentioned before, like high blood pressure, insulin resistance, which is, you need to do that test, which is something you need to request.
Yeah.
So if you're getting your waist, getting a lot more fat storage around your waist, just there's things that can be done to support you to take care of your health naturally. And it's just a matter of change and taking action. Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for your time, Leah. I've got your website there. I'll drop it into the chat now so that for people who are looking at this, they can find you. But I really appreciate your time today, and thank you for sharing all your wisdom with us. Absolutely love it. But for now, I'm going to say thank you.